which type of frameworks or which type of different types of applications we are using inside, and this is this information will have to take place into the session today. Thank you so much, Ananda. Yes.
Sir, please share the screen, sir.
Sir, yes, sir. I'm going to share now. So today we have to discuss about this complete structure, where we start and where we end yesterday. So you are seen yesterday some project applications also we have executed yesterday, how to interact with back end to front end and how to design the framework. So what is the requirement for the particular framework we are using inside the web-based applications. So now we have to discuss about complete structure, where we start and where we end. I want to introduce that one today. So here, the first of all, we are taking as a introduction part. So introduction part we are taking given like this. So first of all, when we design this type of Django framework, so Django is completely different framework we are using in Python programming. So this Django, it's one of the application. Django framework is one of the application to design the projects, like web-based projects. So we have three types of applications we have to take place to development and implement the programs. So those applications are, one is console-based application, another one is Windows-based application, and third one is web-based application. So we are entering into that third part into this session, that is called as web-based applications. So every web-based applications required different kind of scenario. Like this web-based applications required server-side applications we called actually. So the server-side based applications completely it's interact with the clients every time. So the server-side applications it maintains servers backend to the applications. So this type of servers, so we have to classify into two categories. This is one is dynamic servers, other one is static servers. So these dynamic servers are we are using it real-time based applications when we are going to host applications and when we write the websites. When we run the websites, then the time the data storing purpose we are taking the server from third-party server, that is called as cloud-based server. The cloud-based server maintain that total content, whatever the front-end framework given information, that information stored at backend location. As well as same here, when we come to the static part, when we come to the our static application development process, so the static development web application process, then the time we are using local servers inside. So these local servers we have to maintain different structures, different kind of information stored in that particular tables part. So here when we use that servers, so different kind of servers we are using to backend in local static location. The static part use that server names MySQL, WAMP server, as well as Postgres MySQL, like different these kind of servers we are using to store the data into the backend. So first of all, I want to introduce what we had done previous and move to one by one today. So here the web framework. The framework, what stands for framework? First of all, this framework is completely it's give instant location to run the any type of applications. So framework create its collection of forms is nothing but framework we call. So here we are discussing about a web framework. This web framework is completely different framework and advanced technology we are using today. So this advanced technology, how it used and how to development process taking inside. So this is we have to discuss the previous sessions. So this was the discussed in previous sessions. So now just how to we have to remember that what we had done in previous. So here a web-based framework is set of components designed to simplify your web development process. It has basic structuring tools in it, which serve as the solid base for your project. Because every framework provide a same scenario, but how to utilize that framework just to have to do here. So it allows you to focus on the most important details and project's goals instead of creating things that you can simply pull out of the framework. Just whatever the framework is already available, but how to utilize and how to use that framework, just to have to do that one only any framework location. So that is basic need of the development process. Next we have to come to the point. Next is what is Django. These you have to know about this completely. So first of all, when we go to the development process, before going to that, the application process we have to know. So what is the location, what is the conditions are there, how to take the process into the programming part. These are all very essential part into the program. So now when we discuss the first point of this Django. What is Django? Django is a web based web application framework written in Python programming language. So in previous programmings we have to take into the place. So whatever the pages that is created by created in inside the program is to provide that applications take into the web application part. But now we are taking into the part here completely different structure. The Python, we are enter into the Python location. Python is completely take place. It's different programming compared to previous programming. So why? Because this Python programming it take into the place compared to previous. Previous we have to take anything as a manual process. So when it anything we have to write and execute and run the application. So this is the process was going inside the program in previous. Now we have to take it to the automation process. When we give this Python programming part into the application, it will take the performance automatically take inside. So and one more thing is this Python programming language is a very special programming language. So here we are uh, we are working with two programs inside the program. So one is programming, another one is scripting. That's why we call it as shell programming. This Python is completely scripting based, script and program based language. That's why we called as interpreted programming language. So that this programming purpose is we have to reduce the length of the codes, reduce the length of the codes. This Python programming completely is giving the support very accurate and very quick process. So now we are discussing about this Python programming. So it is taking place into backend development process to the web application in Django. So this is first one. Next, the second point, it is based on MVT model. This is based on MVT design pattern. So previous programming we have to discuss about MVC, model view controller. The controls are given by program, but here just we are taking different parts and assemble that parts inside, and then we are run the application. That is the intention of this Django project. So this MBT model view templates. Already we discussed about this. What is model and what is view, what is template. So model view templates when we discussed here. So yes, this is the information we have given the day. So model view templates, MVT models architecture. This this is called as three-tier architecture. We are used inside the Django framework. So this Django framework using the model. What is the purpose of model? When we are using model, the model represents the data structure of your application in Django. Models are Python classes that define the structure of database tables. Each model class typically corresponds to a database table, and the attributes of the class represent the fields of the table. Django ORM, object relational mapping. This ORM maps these models classes to the underlying database tables, allowing you to interact with the database using Python code instead of SQL queries. So the model represent completely database layer completely. So these three layers are very important. The three tier architecture. The three tiers are very important for any web-based application development process. So that's why we are using. What is the intention of model? The model is completely, it's giving structure of database and how to create the database and how it use the database inside the application, and how to create the tables. The tables are mapping different methodologies we are using in the Django. The object relational mapping, different objects we are using inside the datasets, the database. In the database, so how to mapping that relational into the particular objects inside the database, we are using this model content in MBT process. Next one we are discussing about view. The views are very essential in Django framework. Why? Because the views are contained, the views are maintained both the model and template. So why? Because the views are is playing role as business logic layer. So this business logic layer is a main layer to run the application. Why? Because whatever the main content, main programming content we have introduced at this location only, that's why we are taking place into views inside the MVT. So these views uh, are providing and applying the instructions inside, like HTTP protocols, and what is the request and response. We are how to access the template part, and how to access the database part into the templates. So these are all these mechanism explained by these views in this location. So the views contains the business logic of your application. In Django, views are Python functions or classes that receive HTTP requests and return HTTP response. Why? Because it's complete this web-based application is completely, we have to discuss about server-side application. The servers are taking place, take the request and give the response inside the application. Same as well. So views process incoming requests, fetch or modify data using the models, and generate responses to be sent back to the client. So it always interact with the client. So why? Because the data came from the client. That's why the whatever the data take from the backend, and the data is uh, response, the data response giving to the clients always going on inside into the Weaves part. Weaves in Django are responsible for handling user input, interacting with the database, and rendering templates to generate HTML output. So the views are focus on visualize part into the project application. So that's why we are using this. Views are very essential in this part. So this is completely work with the hypertext transport protocol. It's completely used in third party location. So it take the response, it take the request from the clients and give the response as well. This is the intention given by this views. And and one more thing, Weaves in Django are responsible for handling user input increasing with the database. So it's parallelly, it's maintain both content, both patterns inside, like a model as well as template. So these two are two balancing by Weaves inside the Django framework applications. Next, we have to come into the part. The third one is the third structure layer, third pattern inside the retreat architecture. We are discussing about templates. The templates are playing major role in this part. Why? Because without templates, we can't visualize the application application. That's why. So now we have to discuss about these templates. The template parts completely structured and development process and structuring process taken into the HTML part. So HTML hypertext markup language is taking place to visualize the data in previous also, but now it's not an ordinary HTML file. This taking into the part the HTML file. It's mixed with the different programmings inside, like different methodologies using inside the applications. And in this location, the one is the part is Django. The Django also one of the part we have to introduce inside the we are include the inside the HTML file, as well as JavaScript we have to use inside to take the different styles and all those things. And next, we have to come into the part last one. We have to take Bootstrap. So CSS cascading style sheets we are using inside the previous. Now we are not entered into that part. So just we are using bootstraps that we handle that styles inside the templates. So here the template layer is responsible for generating the presentation layer of your application. The templates are HTML files that contain placeholders and template tags, which are replaced with the dynamic content when the template is rendered. So when we created number of templates, number of HTML pages inside. So how to render with inside we are render the each application together. So we are assemble that or we are merge that complete structure into the web-based application. So we are giving that particular HTML files, HTML pages. That pages are represented as a front-end visualization part. This is completely take place into the presentation layer. This presentation layer is very essential. This layer considered as visualization part into the system or into the project location. So here the templates are HTML files that contain placeholders and template tags which are replaced the dynamic content when the templates is rendered. So in Django templates are typically used to define the structure and layout of web pages. Templates can include static content. Templates include some static content. This is called as Django content. The static load when we are using that include static content, that is completely belongs to the Django content, as well as dynamic content generated by views. So it interact with always views part. Whatever the business layer, the presentation layer interact with the business layer always. Why? Because Django's templates engine provides powerful features such as template inheritance, template tags, and filters, making it easy to build complex and dynamic web pages. So when we are when we are creating dynamic web pages or build complexity, easy to build complex content. So then the time we are using this Django templates in template Django template engine, it's completely powerful features it have. So that's why we are using inside the Django framework. So this is a summary. We are using MVT model view template pattern in Django. It divides the responsibilities of an application into three main components: models for data representation and database interaction, views for business logics and request handling, and templates for generating dynamic HTML output. This the separation of concerns helps to keep code organized, maintainable, and reusable, making it easier to develop and maintain complex web applications. So this is what I want to introduce this complete information about MBT model view template. This model view template playing a major role at Django location. So that's why we are discussing about this MBT model view template design pattern here. So next point we have to come into the part in this Django framework. The Django is very demanding due to its rapid development features. So very fast development process going on inside into Django framework. Why? Because uh, when we discussing already here when we discussed that complete structures. So whatever the content, just we have to create just empty folder. One empty folder create that complete structure inside the program. So very easy to design this task based on what is that particular whatever the content we have to use inside. So just to have used command lines, that command lines gives proper content. The command lines provide application inside. So that commands are create a huge framework without interaction, without human interaction. So this is the advantage of Django framework. That's why we have to discuss that one is very demanding due to its rapid development features. So it's have very rapid development features. That's why we are designing and development process taking very low time, very less time to design the applications. And next, we have to come into the part. It takes less time to build. Take less time to build, and it take the less time to build application after collecting client requirement. So it's actually every project in every project it's based on client based requirement to have to take the development process. And here it should be take a building application. When we gather the requirement, it's taking very less time to build applications inside. Already we've seen that one in previous sessions. So just we had write the small command lines. It create the huge framework inside the applications. That's what we have to discuss here. And next, this framework uses famous tagline. So already we discussed on the first day. So just I have to remember purpose. I'll take this part into the session. Just remember the web frameworks perfectionist with deadlines. So it's very best effort conditions we are applied inside the Django framework development process. So that's why this is called as the Django uh, uh, definition. Now we have to take like as a definition. What is Django? So you people understand properly about this. I think I feel. I hope you understand proper conditions in this location. So now we have to discuss history of the content. This is already we are discussing. This is previous content, and now we are discussing 2.1.7 to 4.1.2. That's the higher level versions we are using today. So that versions are giving different types of features. Each version have different types of few features based on that development process. So that implementation process and innovation process. Now when we come into the part, so this history is given just small features. What are the features are contained that each version. So higher versions now we are taking into the part. It's taking as a very high level features inside the applications. So now we are discussing about features of Django. So what is the features contained by this Django? The features are very uh, versatile features inside the Django framework. So first one we have to discuss about, it's completely versatile. It's completely different from previous web-based application development process. So that's why we are coming to the part. We are discussing about this Django, especially web-based applications. So this is completely versatile condition is working, and it's open source. It's completely free to download and installation process in our systems. And next, vast and supported community. It support. It's a big size of organizations or big size of communities. It's supporting today in the in market IT sector, IT web-based development process sector in the IT field. And next, moreover, we have discussed here. Security secure It's providing more security for the applications what you have to build. In previous session, whatever the application we have to create separately, we provide some security for that applications. Now we enter into the part, this security provided by the Django framework only itself. So that's why that is the best feature inside the Django framework. And we have to discuss the next point, scalable. The timelines are very essential in every project development process. So here the timelines are taking very less to design the applications and all. Why? Because the frameworks are designing just this command prompt command lines. The command lines are playing major role to create the framework. That's why the scalability of this design framework feature is also one of the main feature we have to discuss in this Django framework features. And finally, we have to discuss about the rapid development. The rapid development process is going on inside this advanced technology. That means that advanced technology or whatever the present days we are using, that highly used highly used this type of framework in this location. This rapid development discussion also is one of the part inside the Django framework. So whatever the content, whatever the project application we have to take place, this is taking place very less time. That is called as it's a very fast content. Fastly we are designed that one. So that is called as rapid development. This rapid development is one of the future contained by this Django framework. So these are the futures we have to remember and we have to keep in our mind, because when we go into development process taking into the Django framework, at that time we have to keep these all features in our mind, and we have to take the development process inside the application. So next we have to take the installation process. So this is completely preloaded content inside the Python programming. So the Python inside, when we are enter into the Python programming, first of all we are install the Python first inside the system. So after that we have to take the place to take the installation process take into the system. Next, here different sites are providing what is the site we have to take place. The here the www dot and http www.djangoproject.com. This site will provide this software. Otherwise, we have to take place directly in command prompt. When we install Python programming, automatically we have to install this Django as well. Why? Because the Django also the preloaded by Python programming. But here we have to concentrate and we have to focus one thing here. What is that? When we install Python versions, the based on versions we have to install Django. Otherwise, you have to face incompatibility problems inside the system. So now we have to discuss. Suppose, for example, 3.7.0 Python version we have to install. You have to install into the system. Then that time the parallel version. What is the compatible version for that particular Python version is that Django is 2.1.7. Or if you are installed 3.6.2, then the time you install 1.11.17. So these are the versions we are taking into the place when we're going to install the softwares inside the system. Then only the compatibility was created properly. Otherwise, it created incompatibility inside the system. So this is also have to focus part in the installation part, and we have to understand the installation part. So these are the scenarios we have to discuss when we go into installation. How to install the Django? So we are using that that requires a pip to start installation. Pip is a package manager system, uh, which is used to install and manage packages written in Python. So in Python, we have different purposes. We have the importing purpose or installing purpose inside the system. We are using pip. Pip is the package manager system. So this is for its installation process. So this installation process we have to take into place same as well into Django also. Here in we have used different frameworks for Django. So one is we are using normal IDLE, and another one is we are using for PyCharm. PyCharm is also one of the software so run this Django framework, and as well as we are using notebook also. We are using Jupyter notebook also we are using for run this application. Now we are using that type of web-based applications we are using for different uh, softwares. Like new software is there. One is that VS Code, Visual Studio Code. This is also using today to run this application. To run this application purpose, different softwares are taking place into the run the applications and design and deployment purpose. So now coming into the part Django installation process we are taking in this location already we are taken. And next when we take the installation we have to discuss already. So when we are using Python 3.7.0, the installation process is taking place into Django 2.1.7 like this. So the structure is going on like this. So this is completely it's a MacBook. In this MacBook we are taking this one is like this. And Windows based application we are using only pip, not pip3. The pip install Django double equal to the 2.1.7 that is taking place into going to install like this. After that the verification of Django is one of the part inside. Why? Because when the incompatibility created inside the system, then the time we have to verify the Django installation also. Why? Because this installation process we are taking on here, focus on here mustard shirt. Why? Because so when we run the Python, how to verify this this Python have to take into the part we have to type Python first. The Python when type the Python inside the command prompt, then the time you understand what is the version you have inside the system. And next after that we have to take the procedure one by one. Now we are taking into the import Django.get underscore version. So then we have to we know the compatible version is there or not. Then we proceed our development process. Okay, this is the way to verify the Django is available or not in our system. That is a verification process we have to take into the system. So Django project for example, any project example, how to design the project. So previous we have and what is the futures, what is the history. So these contents we have discussed in previous. Now we have to come into the part when we going to take the project development process. How to take the project development process? Already we had done this one. Just I have to give this information for remembrance. Please note it down. And here this Django part, when we take the after complete the installation of the Django, now we have to step into the create applications like this. So first of all, when we go to alternate drives in this in computer. So we are taking the alternate drives like this. In these alternate drives, we have to take place at this location. We create one small folder, empty folder. This empty folder we have to create. That's information we have to give to the system. So then we have to move command line. Then that command line we have to take the command like this. This command was a very powerful command and very uh, creative command to use in Django. So this command, when we execute this command, that command create automatically Django framework inside. So here I want to discuss one more thing here. So so when we come into the part Django, yes. So when we create the application, so we see in that main application just like this. uh, I'll show you what is that. uh, so this is the application we have to see over there. First thing, this manage file as well as main file. So in this main file, what is that application content, and what is the purpose of that applications we are using in this application? We have to know must and should here. So for example, so when we are write the command like this, when we write the command, so django.admin, django-admin start project name. So that was executed and it created in that empty folder. That empty folder we have seen the structure manage.py, manage python file, that main file init.py, settings.py, and urls.py, wsgipy. So let we know what is that particular each content. What is the manage.py and init.py and settings.py and urls.py and wsgi.py. Py. So the py stands for Python file. Here we have to discuss about manage.py. It's very essential. Why? Because when we run the application, when we run the Django framework application, we are use this manage.py compulsory. Why? Because this manage.py is manage complete structure of the project. That's why we are taking place into the manage.py into running command location. So application running command location. So what is manage.py? It is a command line utility which allows us to interact with the project in various ways, and also use it to manage an application that we will see later on this tutorial. Which means what, particularly when we are use this command inside the command line manage.py. This manage.py is taking major role to run the Django framework application, entire framework application into the part. So next, when we come into the next part, we have discussed same line. The directory Django app located inside in the actual application package name. Its name is the Python package name, which we will need to use to import module inside the application. This is completely information given by manage.py only. Manage.py only. So now when I come into the part inside the main application, the created what is that init.py. It is an empty file that tells to the Python that this directory should be considered as a Python package. So init is a supporting file, just it's empty file already we seen that location. So when we go to that particular location, this init is completely empty file, nothing, the code will nothing inside. So just it's giving Python is supporting like as a Python package inside the framework. And next, when the coming into the part, settings.py. The settings.py is very essential. Why? Because It's completely playing model role. So model role in the three-tier architecture. So this file is used to configure application settings such as database connection, static files, linking, etc. So it's completely establish the connection between the front end to back end, as well as linking the static files like HTML files, whatever the starting files means, whatever the pages we add to the main file, that page also add these locations. This information we had seen yesterday. So this settings.py here, whatever the pages are, it's setting.py. First of all, explain what is the version you are using inside the Django, and then you have to move installed apps. This installed apps, whatever the created pages are including linking at this location. So how many pages you are using in that views location, that views part contained by that folder. That folder name we are taking as a adding page into the main page in Django framework. This Django framework contained linked by installed apps at setting location. And next we have to move connections, database connections. The database connections are given here. The database connections are maintained here. It take place to establish the connection to the server, backend server, and it connect to the front end application. So that purpose we are using this settings.py. The settings also very essential part in this location. We are taking code writing part at this location for database connections. Next, coming to the next point is URLs. The URLs playing major role in Django framework. Why? Because it's completely it's the Django framework applications completely based on URLs. So that URLs are navigate one by one, and it take the performance inside the project, web-based project. That web application project taking place into complete structures depends on URLs only. So this URL is, this file contains the listed URLs of the application. In this file, we can mention the URLs and corresponding actions to perform the task and display the view. So whatever the URLs we are present at this location, it taking performance task to display the view. So what you want to see, what is your particular application, is everything taking place into URLs. Why? Because all templates are converted into URLs based format. Then only that URLs are merged into that particular application. So it's taking weaving part inside the project. Next, we have to come into the last one, WSGI. WSGI this is also a supporting for application to created inside. What is this? It is an empty point for WSGI compatible web servers to serve Django project. And WSGI web services graphical interface part inside the application. This is also one of the Python supporting package. It's supporting like as a package for Django framework application. So these are the main part, main applications when we create a project using this command. When we use this command, that much of applications was created inside automatically. So we can't do any manual process inside to design these applications. So that information you have to keep in your mind. Why? Because it's based on command line, based on command, a command prompt, command execution. So this application is and everything. So we have to add the page. Already we have designed that one. Add the page purpose we are using one more command. So this is the main application. When we run the application, it create a main application and then run the application. When we run the application, use this manage.py, it's coming the part, the web, whatever the web-based content we have displayed on the monitor directly. So the small commands created huge frameworks inside the web-based applications in that Django framework. That is the advantage of Django framework. Is completely versatile for style to compare previous web-based application development process. So have to remember that one. And now I want to add this page, the student's page. So this is playing main role to interact with the templates and models. So that's why we are creating up what is different pages for this one. So how to create this page? Already we are given this structure in this location. Just we have to see. Uh, First of all, we have to take path into that particular main application what we had created in previous command line, and now we take into the path. After that, we are using that command line Django hyphen admin start app here. Start app. The start app was created another page to link into that particular managed files, and then we have to run the Django framework. So after that, we execute that applications. Already we seen that we have to get into localhost like this, and then we have to move this Django frame like this. This is the main frame to create that one. After views, we are creating two. After views, we are going to run the application, whatever the content inside the based on requirement. So the views are attached the particular templates. What are the templates you are using at this location? The template part, the def and the def function, it take as a request part and client location part. It connect to the server part, server response location, and the server take the request from the client, and then it give the response as well in the front end location. So these views are playing major role to add the templates and perform the templates in the project application. So when we discuss about this Django framework, so this is completely we have discussed it in front end part. The front end part, when we had complete the front end part, after that we have discussed the back end part also. In the back end part, when we discuss this back end part, so we are coming to the database part. Django models and database. So the agenda here is we have discussed about backend part. Now the backend part is taking place into one is what is a model and model field. What is create first model fields and databases. So these are very essential for to understand the backend concepts and backend part into the project, Django project. So first of all, what is model? So model already we're discussing all the models. So in this case, how to use models? What is created by models? The models are completely connected with databases, database queries. In the database queries, is we are taking place into database in that location. We are using some commands as well as taking constraints conditions inside the models. So a model is the single uh, definitive source of information about your data. So whatever the data we have to create in database table, the database table contained by this model in this application, views applications. So next, the contents are it contains the essential field and behaviors of the data you are storing. So whatever the storing data inside the database, in the database we called at this model location. This model is represented as a query database, whatever the table query or SQL query, particular command to have to implement in the project. So next, I have to discuss about generally each model maps to single database table. So each model connect not more than one database table. Why? Because it's a static application. When we have to go into design, so that's why we are working with only single database tables only in this model. So each model is a Python class, that subclass. Like we are taking as a DB Django.db model. Already we seen that one in the application here. For example, we have to discuss about the models. But when we take into the place, the models are taking place like this. From Django.db import models. In that models, we are working with different types of SQL queries are based on table, created table. So the here we are apply the conditions like constraint conditions, primary key, foreign key conditions, and what is that particular length of the each each parameter inside the database table. So that's what we have discussed about in this particular location. The models are taking place like this, and each attribute of the model represents a database field. So each database field was represented at this model. That's why, so this model playing one of the major role to transmit the data front end to back end. So next, first model, how to create that model. So these are the we are seen already. So from design dot models, the class, the person model dot model. So first name, models, class, field, maximum length, the lengths are represents here already we seen over there in that location. Next, model fields. What is the model fields? We have to discuss about this backend part. So here, the general normally we created that application into the database, and we couldn't insert it to the application is not possible. We have to take programmatically content only can take the place inside the database content into the application. So now we have to discuss fields are organized into records. The fields, whatever the fields is nothing but in table rows and columns. In that rows, there contain data. That the data called as a records, which contain all the information within the table relevant to a specific entity. So this relevant topic completely is whatever the required content you produce inside the date table. We have to discuss that much information only. So that is the information given here, and there are concepts to know before creating fields. There are different concepts out there. One is field type and field options relationship. These three concepts we have to build inside the model location. So then only that is working properly inside the application, and it interact with the database table content automatically. So next, when we come into the part field type. What is field type? So the fields defined inside the model class are column names of the mapped table. So different each table have different column names. So how to map that one, and how to recognize that one, and that is the intention given at this location. First one, auto field, in an integer field that automatically increments. So when we enter into the table content, that fields are automatically increased. So that is called as auto field content. Next, boolean field. What is boolean field? Store true or false values, generally used for checkboxes. So when we are used with that content, it's checking which record or which rows and columns we have to take place into the database. So then the time the application plays it into the particular true or false condition based the storage values. That's the field is taking place into the application. Next, character field. So when we are using names and all names, string field are small to large size strings. The string fields are located at this character field. This is one of the field type we are introducing in this part of the backend database. Next, final is date field. The date field represents Python date time, date instant. So when we are coming to the part, so when we require a date and date field in that location, so we have mentioned Python date and time. So it represents a date and time as usually inside the table content. So that's what we are discussing here. The type fields are different in models. So based on requirement, we are using these fields inside the table. Next, we have to come into the part field options. What is the field options? So field options are used to customize and put constraint on the table row. So when we come into the part, we are taking as a model field character models dot character field. The character field maximum length. These give that the string length of the string we are mentioned here. So this is the way to field options we have to take place here. Max length specifies the size of the varchar field. Varchar is the character size we have to mention inside the table. So when we create the table, then the time when string operates string characters or string format type of data when we are used inside the database table, in that table, then the time we are using not an integer or float, this type of data types. So here we are using as a varchar. The varchar is giving the length of that particular character field. So here we are taking as a max length, where instant of this varchar we are using for max underscore length. This max underscore length give the character length, character size, character size, how much size we have to use inside the table. So that's what we are using this option field options in this location. Next, we come into the part following some common and mostly used field options. So null, null to store empty values into the null in database. Null is one of the representative option field options. And next, default is there. In this default, when we coming into the part, this default store default values for a field. Why? Because we have discussed about the database. The database is one of the most important uh, topic or most important content to the web-based web application frameworks. So then the time that the data, how could maintain the data? What is the intention of inside the data, and what is each and every optional field can manage can contain that information. These are all informations we have to know compulsory when we work with the databases inside the applications. So next, blank. This blank is if true the fields allowed to be blank. So it means what, when the condition was true means the data enter into the part automatically. That black was that was that field was going to blank. It means what, it you move to another field, you take the data in another field, that is instruction given by this blank. Next, primary key is very essential. It's an it couldn't accept the duplicate values, and each table contain only one primary key. So that's why the condition are very clear and given a clear instruction. And the duplicate values are not allowed into the table. This field will be the primary key for the table. So next, we have to come into the last point, unique key. It puts unique key constraint for columns. Unique keys are we are common keys we are using for table content. So these unique keys are represent as a columns only, not only rows in the table. So this is the fields we are using common fields. Common fields we are using in our database location. Next, when coming to the part, model fields. The model field relationship we have discussed here. So now the power of relational databases or DBMS or whatever lies in relating tables to each other. Django offers ways to define the three most common types of database relationships. What are those? Just we have to discuss here. Uh, we have to continue this session one by one. What is the relationship field models? So here, first one is many to one, the many to one, second one is many to many, and third one is one to one. So these are the uh, model field relationships we have discussed here. So now we have to come into the part. The first one is many to one relationships. What is this? To define a many to one relationship, use Django.db models.foreign key. The foreign key is its relational database content. So when we use the foreign key, it's related to tables in that locations. So it means what the foreign key content each the two table contain common keys inside the table. That's why we are using foreign keys. So it establishes relation between two tables in content. Connect two tables at a time when you're using this foreign key constraint in that particular table. You use it just like any other field type by including it as a class attribute of your model. So, for example, here we are taking as a small content here. So, when we are working with foreign key content, compulsory we are using cascade part inside the model. So, the class manufacturer model, the pass is given here, the procedural part, and then class car is the manufacturer is taking as a car. This is a car manufacturing location. For example, we are taking as a database. So model, and if the manufacturer equals to model dot foreign key, the manufacturer comma on delete equal to models dot cascade. This is the function we have to represent when we are using this foreign key constraint. So this foreign key constraint work with on delete models cascade. When we are missing this one, automatically you get error on your application. So when you set it right properly in that application, then only it's working properly. So next, when you're coming into the part, many to many relationships. So we had completed many to one relationship, and now we had come into many to many relationships. To define a many to many relationship, use many to many field. So use it just like any other field type by including it has a class attribute of your model. So, for example, if a pizza has multiple topping objects, that is a topping can be on multiple pizzas, and each pizza has multiple toppings. Here, how you represent that? For example, here we are taking an example for here. So, from Django.db import models class topping model start model. This is the procedural part, how to take the programming part inside. After that, we pass the pizza model dot model topping. The model is many to many field topping. So just what we are using this field, it's considered as a many to many field to topping. Why? Because the number of things are inside it is at same location, but the thing is single, but in that the location the parts are different. Parts are number of parts are there. Then that time we are using this many to many field. We are easy to classify that particular issue, whatever the content inside the table. Next, we have to come into the part one to one relationship. The one to one is a final last relationship is we have to discuss here. To define a one to one relationship, use one to one field. Just in many to use many to many field, just same like as in one to one also we are using one to one field. You use it just like any other field type by including it as a class attribute of your model. So we are discussing this one. For example, take an example for this is given by system only, but we have to import models here, and then class my special user, the model start model, the user user model start one-to-one field setting start auth user models. When we are going to this one-to-one relational field, then the time we are working with migrations also. That migrations are creating this authenticated user models inside the database. So supervisor equals to model dot one-to-one field setting auth user model. So this is indication we have to given programming. Then only it's applied the one-to-one relationship inside the application. So these are the relational options. These are the relational models, model field relationship ships we have discussed here. Now, when coming to the part, so these are very essential. Why? Because it's an internal part completely. So we have to understand and we have to know compulsory about this. Then only we can take the development process very uh, fortunate inside the application. So next we have to come into the part meta options. Meta options. These meta options are taking place as a major role inside the Django framework. Those when we create HTML pages in this location, we are using meta. These meta concepts are taking place into Django. So meta concepts is completely we connected with the databases. So in this database, using UTF uh, UTF 6 or UTF 8, UTF 12, 16. Based on requirement, we are taking as place inside the database. So here, a meta class is the class of a class. So the data of data is nothing but metadata. So same we are here taking as a meta class is nothing but a meta class is the class of a class is nothing but meta class. So a class defines how an instance of the class behaves, while a meta class defines how a class behaves. So here, whatever the content we are using inside, it's relating each other. So that's why these meta options are very essential inside the database applications, database location. And a class is an instance of a meta class. So actually, we are discussing about class location programming. That is different, and this is different. This is just we have to take place into the data records and data content, how to manipulate and to manage and each other. Then only we are using these meta classes inside the database location. Give a model metadata by using an inner class meta. So for example, in that location where these models are taking place at this location particularly. So the Django.db import models, the class student, for example, we're taking as inside model. Name equals to models dot character field. It's called as character field indicates a varchar. The varchar is content of max length. The max length equals to the given number is here. Based on that, the meta class ordering name and the DB table equals to students. So this type of information, the data about data or class, the meta class about class is nothing but meta class. So that meta is using inside the models for database connectivity and give the particular characters inside the name and their data fields. So here, finally, we have to discussing about this particular databases. How many databases are there actually in the databases? Which one we have to use today, and based on the requirements, which one we have to give the importance in that particular database servers. So Django officially supports the following databases. These databases are supported by Django, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, and Maria database and MySQL and Oracle database. So these are the database servers we have to use inside the database. purpose. So first one, Postgres MySQL. What is Postgres MySQL? This Postgres MySQL, when we are going to dynamic application development process, then that time this server is completely online server. This server provide that content automatically inside. So what you required based on your requirement, it create the tables and everything inside. A database also created inside. So it used cloud-based content in our applications. So next, MariaDB. Now, advanced technologies, advanced DBs are we are using. So there are versions are there. Suppose the WAMP server. The WAMP server is related to MariaDB. So these WAMP servers are using inside for data storage only, but it taking place in automatic process. Automatically, the table structure will create it inside. We are not to provide any type of queries for that, and then we have to modify the data and delete data. Everything we are taking very easy in MariaDB. And then we have to commit to the part Oracle database. It's completely object-oriented based database. Oracle is a very powerful database we are using, and it was also support for Django framework as well as. And next, we have to come to the part MySQL. The MySQL is mostly common used server at the backend inside the Django application. So this MySQL taking place as a GUI part, graphical user interface database location. So when we're using MySQL yoke, that MySQL yoke create a structure of the database, and in that database we create number of tables. It's same like as database structure. So now finally we come into the part SQLite. This SQLite provided by Django framework directly. So whatever the content store inside the application only, not in the database. So when we are using SQLite server inside the application, we have to take the migration process inside. Migrations, make migrations, migrate. Different commands we have to use for that particular database running process. So here we have to run this SQLite when we create the Django framework based using that command lines. Then once we run the application, automatically SQLite will be created in that particular table, particular database framework, not database. So it is a particular Django framework inside the project. So now we have to telling Django your database. What is that? So here before we can create any models. So before going to create the models, we must first set up our database configuration compulsory. To do this, open the settings.py, locate the direct dictionary called databases. So the databases we have to create first thing, and then we have to move the models inside the application. So modify the default key, the value page, so it looks something like the following examples like this one. So when we create databases, already we've seen in previous, the databases created different types of database content inside the program. So here when we check it once, here already we discussed about this one. So if you want when you work with the SQLite database inside the project, the Django project, then the time you use databases and default engine Django.db and backends.mysqlite 3. This is one of the structure we can use inside the Django framework applications. And next we have to come into the part. So we create new variable called database underscore path, and add that to the top of your settings.py. So a database underscore path is creating like this. This is the way to create this Django path and all in operating system path. So based on that, the Django applications was going to run, and it taking front end, taking access the data front end to back end, use this content. This is intention by the Django framework. So orally, we have to take information about this. First of all, we have to discuss the front end part of the Django and how to create the framework and how to run the that particular framework in browser. So everything depends on the command lines. So it's command line based programming part, and command based line is creating structures of in applications in Django framework. So first of all, we have to discuss about the front ends, and then we have to move to back end, and both are very essential for any web-based applications. So this type of web-based applications, when we run into the run into the projects, then that time we are discussing this both back end to front end, and what is the importance where we are using particular content to develop the applications. These are very essential in Django framework applications. So I hope you understand what is the content properly, and where which type of content we are used inside the applications, and which type of application we are working with inside the Django framework. So these are all content, well, I think. So if you have any any intentional development intentional, you take procedurally like this, then you develop the projects and the development process and take into the Django. It's very easy process. So follow this one, and then we have to discuss about project content in after session, how to take the projects and what is the content inside, and these are all things we have discussed again. And then we have to understand proper information about this Django advanced technology Django framework in this session. Yes, sir. Vijay Babu, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, shall we take on a small break for this topic?
Okay, sir. 10 minutes, sir.
After 10 minutes, we come back and continue the session. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much.
The participants, we will take a 10 minutes break. Again, we will start at 11:40. Thank you all.
Yes, good morning, all of you. Return to the session. So here we had discussed yesterday only databases and what is the front end content only. Now here we have to work with data sets also. How to work with data sets and how it respond. Here all content also given inside the applications. Just to have an overlook on that particular location, projects are taking place, how it taking place, as we discussed in previous content. So now, when coming to the part, this is a complete project. We have to take into the smart production. Uh, so here, when we run this application, we have to check it once. So we are entering to the localhost part. This every Django framework create this localhost for execution purpose. So here, when we enter into that one, so this is a smart production system process. So this complete design taking place into the presentation layer like templates. So here, uh, users, admins, and registration process is there inside. So when we complete the registration process, after that we have to go to the user login page. In that location, to so here is credentials are given. So what's we're taking. So we're going to registration first, and then we have to move. It's better, I think. So so please match the requested format. Username. Uh, only name. We are given here only content only. So add one more content. Here we understand the fields. These are the con- constraint parameters. So here we are giving a contain at least one number, one uppercase, lowercase letters, totally 8 characters. We have the numbers and all those things. That's why we are giving it will be at the rate SS 4. So now we are the mobile number already existed. If there is any parameter primary key is there, the primary key is not taken to the part. So same the password enter with the rate SS 1234 here. This one also already existed. Email. So now we enter into the part. We have successfully registered. So the validations are very important. The validations given inside the application here in this form. So now when we enter into that part, so we have to take permission from admin. So when we are work with web-based applications, we have to take different roles. Two types of roles we have to take. So that role is taking place. One is the user role, and another one is admin role. Here, admin can take place all content inside the website, but the user can use the content from the admin provided content only. So here the authorization authentication process is given inside the project. For example, uh, we are taking as a authorization and author. What is authorization and what is authentication? The authorization provides the credential to the authentication. The authentication take the permission and take the credential permission to the authorization. So this is the process given. For example, Google and Gmail. The Google is authorization, Gmail is authentication. It's Google provide authenticate details and user ID password for Gmail. The Gmail can use that content based on that. Use that particular credential, and then that is entered into the premises and access the content from the authorization. So same process given here. So admin process we are taking as a admin here, because admin don't have any credentials. So that is the main intention of this one. Here, use user, the activity is taking place at this location. So these are the previous content, the role, the data, this content was displayed by MySQLite. MySQLite. This MySQLite, the data taken to the storage storing part at the application location only. Why? Because that is support, that given support like this. So this data was stored at application location, and application is considered as a cloud-based location. So now I want to take the permission from the user. Admin give the permission to the user, particular user who is given instruction, credentials, all credentials to take acceptance. Now I want to activate this one. After activate this one, I have to move there, and then we have to uh, enter into the credentials here and submit the part. So process. The password is required password. It will be the date. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 characters. And submit it here. So I have to check here from admin, which data was inserted inside already. That location, the user location. There is no password to show here. So now I want to enter into the princess user location. It will be at the rate SS 1, 2, 3, 4 had given inside. What happened inside? The principal component analysis, industrial environment, industrial the case studies, they are here. So here is completely machine learning based application. This one, ML based application. So want to take place again to registration. New details I have to give here. Um, mm, the mobile number I have to give here. And the email is taking place. Uh, gmail.com, and the locality is taking place like Pune, and address is taking place house number 2 dash 4 dash 6 3 Pune location is city is Pune state. This is the state. Uh, taken registration. Registration is taken successfully taken. Now I have to take the permission from admin. The admin takes place like this. So here users are there. Pune activated and PCAs. Any PCAs are there? Is there? How to check it once. So taken as error. Why? Because we are more to user only. It is going good. Now I want enter into that names. 8 4 taking place. So it required why it's not taking the part is just we have to take migration part here. That's why it's not taking. This is activated already, but what happened? Hmm, credentials are not taken properly. Just a minute. The PCA model is created here. That's why. Okay, okay. Just a minute. I want to take again the process. Now here, before going to execution, we have to create that make migrations must and should. Why? Because we're using that SQLite. So now I want to run this one. Run server. And I get the local host at this location. So there is no errors inside the application. And then I have to represent at this location. So now I want to enter in this city premises. So the first one is I'll take as a KTB at the rate SS 1234. And now I'm entering to invalid password. Ramesh R at the rate. Same process is taking. So some details we have to apply here. Some instructions are taking place inside. So when we check the coding part, which is location, the user's location. So what happened? I have checked here. So this is a user page. So we are there. We are discussing here the registration activations, the post methods we are using here. Successfully registered is coming, but not an issue. User login check, login time. So internal exception was created inside. So this type of problems was created by this Django framework. So that's why we have to focus much on should here. Everything is good then code. Code is not code is absolutely right. Nothing will be there inside. Here the data will be displayed here. The principal component PCA model building this is. So already data set is there. The data set was given at this location. Some algorithms are given inside. Number of migrations also we can provide here. And let me discuss the DB SQLite they are providing here. Assets, templates, media, empty. So the assets static is there. And the images and everything. The templates are given here and everything is good. And here I have to go to more to settings also now the part. The settings is given this is SQLite only. This is the database. And admins and users are given here. Okay. So we have recall all the pages like indexing, user login, admin login, and everything. So when we close this one, now we have to enter into so this is a little bit error process going on inside. So already yesterday we are taking on project, right? So this type of some data set based contents, data sets, how we are using data sets. That's the point I have to discuss here. So some types of malwares, malwares are taking place inside. Suppose that just malling and cyber hacking breaches like decentralized Yes, this is one type of application tool, just like using Wikipedia using this Django framework, just a sample application. So here we have to register first and log in next. Okay, and then what is the main application intention here? Here, different kind of celebrities are there. How to insert that, just like Wikipedia content. This one, how to use Wikipedia inside the websites. So that content how to represent inside the data. For example, first of all, I want to log in here. Username. Take as a mail ID. The email ID also take same as password. I'm taking as one side. Website name some www.wikipedia.com. Have to given some registration process. Website HTTP. Run double slash. So register this one and username like a password I have to give it here. I submit that one, enter into the my email ID into the premises. So for example, here different we have to check different people. Already we are there here someone. So I have to click that one. When I click that link navigated this location. So the Wikipedia give the information to the particular person or particular topic what you require. So based on that, how it is work like this, when we are given that particular link, it's taking as a whatever the person name and is, what is that particular thing, particular where she is achieved the content, and what about that particular movie content, whatever the celebrity intention, whatever the celebrities are given inside. So these are we are creating here. We are given option update. So here you have to enter any new data at this location, that particular person. So Wikipedia works like this. Wikipedia people are taking process like this. I want to take place here. I want to ask me some enter into that particular. This is taking place admin process only. This is admin Wikipedia persons how to publish the data into the websites in our data into the online cloud location. So that's that part we are taking inside this project. So this is Bhaskar have to enter in this new data for updation purpose. The data also enter into the part. So if you want delete content, whatever the content, take the place at this location. So now we have to take back. I want to take some celebrity. in that location. So she's one of the celebrity given over the information about Rai, what this, which movie she rated content inside given inside like this. So this is the way to use this type of applications. Use MySQLite and everything. So here the list is providing by different parameters, different types of persons information, how to insert the content inside that particular person data using like Wikipedia's the type of sites we have to design using this Django framework. So it's provide very securable security and robustness inside. That's why we are creating this application. The small applications we have to create and it's used in big sites or big platforms locations also. We are taking the designing part into Django here. So now we are entering into the part. So what is the content? What type of content we have given in here and templates, whatever the thing we are using. So settings are using what is the settings and everything inside. So the Django part 2.1.2, the support to 2.1.7 also, and here we enter into that application part app 1 2 3 4 5 apps and 1 2 3 4 configure. So this is the application name we have entered into here, and here we're using database SQLite. This only database framework database only we are using. So whatever the data set we have to give it inside. So the data is given at this part in waves location or media point. The images are we are taking this is data sets like so. Now the templates are taking place at this location. So these are templates. The templates are creating by Django format, like static part and bootstraps and everything here. So after complete this one, these are merged at template, merged at main application location. That main application taking place like here. So the form of applications which we use inside, those are all we have to mention at this location, list of views, updates, whatever, and then list of actors, whatever the list Q are given here, and a registration process we are taking a post method, not get method. When we are taking post method means it's the whatever the content that is available in the application only, the application location, and then we have to move login part what we have taken that particular registration process. So here the post methods are using the post authentication credentials are required here. Based on that, the login process was going here, and then we create details HTML pages, whatever delete and update, command update HTML pages. We have to write just some template queries, template field queries, and then it's working properly. What we required to content as usual, and here the URLs views URLs is different, and settings URLs will be different. So model URLs as the URLs can create URLs based content as well as, and here the views also create different types of URL patterns like this. So the registration and everything was given here. So deleting and update whatever the whatever the pages, HTML template pages, we are called at this location, and then we have to take models. Is there any models we are using or not? Models are using here. Already we are discussing about DB import models in previous content. Same we have to take the contribute auth models for import users. This is for where we are taking the data and how to transmit the data between the pages. And here the class user profile actor, what is the content, the whatever the cascading part, when we are using, this is we called as menu to one field, option field. So when we are using on delete model dot cascade, this is supporting to the field name is 1 to 1, sorry, 1 to 1, or many to one, 1 to 1 field, just we are giving here, sorry, 1 to 1 field. So 1 to 1 field, when we are using this on delete cascade, the cascades are taking place to content transmit between the applications. And here the character field max length, everything was given, we are discussing previous, this information only we are providing here. And then how to move some migrations also there. These migrations you can provide, then only that is going good to take place inside the databases. And here in settings.urls, just we are include all admin pages, just include dot whatever the pages we are mention over there inside views, that views are taking place into this location. We application dot app 12354 dot url, that includes take place overall content inside the website. So this is the way to take the place to design big size of websites, as well as uh, what the proper requirement for cloud based content applications. So this is one of the application how to introduced. And here I have to log out, and I want to close this one also. So different kind of applications we are designed, the huge applications have to run and execute this in this session. uh, some data sets also we are using inside, just how to keep that one. uh, Cyber hacking breaches. Just I want to verify that I want to show that particular concept, how it is going to take place. So, for example, I take one uh, Flask-based application, this one. So, the data sets are taking different kind of data sets we are taking place inside. Uh, for example, I'll take how to work with the data sets as well. Yeah, I want to close previous content. and then only it's working. That's why. So slash index. So it's a fingerprint based ATM system. We are taking place inside. So here I want to take place in particular location. So it's taking server error because so here we have to set some paths here actually. So then only it's going good. It's working like so. This is class-based application with using Django framework. The Django. What's just so I have to take place into that one. It's better. Then it's working good. So here from here onwards, I'll take that execution is better. So when I run this application, it's the localhost ID will be generated like this. Just I want to introduce data sets, how it works taking place. Okay. So I want to take some sign up process here. Some page is there already. So Vasu, the password also same like that. I'll taking as a name and 79934 as a number. I have to give it and Vasu at gmail.com and address is taking place HYD mail to some not to this location. I'll take from here. The path is creating that particular location content. So this is content. This is called as data set. How to work with the data sets in Django frameworks inside. So I want to take this fingerprint data set inside and I apply this one and complete the registration process here. So after complete this one, I have to move the login process here. So Vasu is there. The Vasu and this is the part what we are taking. Suppose I taken invalid data what I had given to the time that the data was going to take the invalid. So now I want to give what I had given inside. So then only that is taking an access. This is database. Now enter into the premises. So nowadays is new technology has given this application actually. The previous applications are designed different technologies. Now we are taking the application, taking Django framework to run this application into the uh, ATM machines. So what is the bank process? First of all, we take as a deposit content here. Suppose I want to take some 10,000 deposit content. The transaction was successful when we're going to deposit. When going to view balance, the Vasu content deposited this amount last time. The date and time also mentioned here. Available balance showing this. This is just an example bank application. How to maintain, how to create the application inside the ATMs. So now I want to go to the withdrawal the amount. So for example, I want to take 15,000 in this location. So actually, we don't have that sufficient fund. That's why the insufficient fund is there inside. It's explained based on the programming content. Now I want to take a proper valid amount draw from that location. Now the information taking place, withdrawal successfully, and then we have to go to the view the balance. A previous 10,000 balance is there. We have to take a transaction 5,000. That's why available balance is showing like this. So this is the way to use the data sets. Use the data sets and different kind of data sets use and run the application inside the Django framework. That's what I want to give the information for you. Location, then the time we are using different platforms. So this is one of the best platform, and this is one of the advanced platform.
Dear participants, please wait for a while. Resource person is facing some technical issue. He will join within 5 minutes. Thank you.
To ask me this particular topic, the participants. Is there any queries to ask me to about this complete session or about this framework content? So this is the way to design the applications and execution process to take inside the Django framework. So we are working with different applications like sample applications and uh, how to work with different databases like inside my MySQL and SQLite, and how to transmit the data between the pages, and how to create HTML pages to use templates inside the Django framework. So these are all we have discussed at this complete session. So if you have any queries on that, please ask me. And one more thing, so please create by yourself an application and check yourself how it is complex, how it create complex inside. And if you are create your own way, it's very useful to you. And I hope to tell you. And then here we are uh, taking complete web application process in Django process going to like this. This is the way to design the applications and run the applications, and uh, give the different instructions to the particular web based applications. Use this content like MBT process. So this is the total information given by uh, Django framework by Bhaskar from SAK Informatics. So if you have any doubts in this location, ask me, and I'll reply for that. Which type of questions are raised over there?
अरे आप बोल दो आप ही बोल दो अरे बाहर आ जाओ सर लास्ट में अभी आ जाओ बोलेंगे बाहर आ जाओ आके अभी डाउट सेशन क्लियर करके फीडबैक पूछे तो बोलो बोलो हाँ that I will share my feedback like oral feedback if anybody wants to speak now let them speak.
So no more questions are there. It is us and madams.
Dear participants, if you have any doubts, you can ask.
Dear participants, anybody having any queries, please type in chat box. Sir will address you.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to give that answers for that. So I hope you understand this total content. What is the process to development and design and implementation process? I hope to understand all of you, and it's very uh, crucial part also sometimes. But just focus on this development process. Then only you understand the concepts and all those things. And one more thing is. The websites are taking place today in real-time location, like Mozilla Firefox, and at different locations. This Django framework we are using. Where we are using this Django framework, just have to introduce that one here. The Django framework widely accepted, used by various well-known sites such as Instagram. Now we are using Instagram daily. That's one of the social media website. And Mozilla Firefox is the browser. The one of the browser also using this Django uh, framework, and discuss is uh, browser. This is also one of the browser we are using. And some types of real-time companies location, and Pinterest and Bitbucket, Washington Times, and different big sites, big site environments use this Django today. So we have to knowledge on this Django framework must and should. So we have to learn more information on these websites and all those things using Django, how it is work inside. So please focus on this. If you have any further development process or taking any process in your labs and everything, so this is the content I have to given to you. You please understand and uh, If you have any doubts on this particular session, please ask me. I'll try to give the answers for that particular questions.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, Jayam, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, Bhaskar, sir.
Thank you so
On
much, sir.
behalf of CMREC, CSC department, we thank you for conducting this 5-day FDP national level. Thank you very much, sir. You've given a wonderful and informative subject, Django framework. Now I request the participants, anybody want to give feedback orally, you can unmute yourself and please give your oral feedback about this 5-day. Dear participants, please respond. Give your oral feedback once we will close this session.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
This is Savitri from Christ University,
Yes, yes,
Lavasa.
yes, ma'am. Tell
So
me.
your session was very informative and it was very useful, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
It would be better if you arrange an offline session instead of online,
Yes, yes.
so that we can get more practice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Minaha, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable feedback. Thank you so much, in charge, ma'am. Vikas, sir. Thank you so much.
Dear participants, please fill the feedback link which is available in chat box.
हेलो हाँ सर हाँ कर रहा आया आया ठीक है भेज दो उस भेजने के बाद आपको क्या बोलना है if any issues within a week we will send certificates बोलने को वो मैं व्हाट्सएप में करेंगे वो व्हाट्सएप में करेंगे हाँ वही है ठीक अब वाइंड अप कर दो हाँ
So thank you, Randall. Thank you so much. So Thank your patience and all. You are spending time for this session, and it's I feel very proud myself. I given an opportunity to give the lecture to this session, and I hope you very useful you useful to you all this session, and thank you so much, uh, Vijay Babu sir. My request is please create any one application by your own. It's taking good knowledge on this session. I think it's taking place to develop any application for your side. It's very useful to you. I hope you understand. Definitely, I'll provide the documents, ma'am, Judge ma'am, to the Vijay Babu sir. I'll definitely keep that one for your purpose. So today is the last day, last session today. Uh, Thank you, Anandal. And if you want any queries, send one by one. I'll respond for that. Uh, so the session was closed today. Yes, this is Vaskar from SEC Informatics. I'll sign off today. Today is the last day. Thank you, Ronandal. You're giving a valuable time for me, and I have given this opportunity for taking a lecture to this all concepts about Django. Thank you, Ronandal. Thank you so much. Signing off. This is Bhaskar from SEC Informatics.